let's talk about the fasted cardio trap, or what I call it as the trap. So I sometimes do my easy runs in the mornings, and when I do so, I do them fasted. And why do I fast? It's actually primarily from a health standpoint. I don't have the world's best gut, and personally I found that when I fast, usually I'll do anywhere between 14 to 16 hours, nothing too crazy. I find that my gut just feels a lot better. I don't get as much stomach cramps, any pains, and I also find that it levels off my hunger quite well. So I'm someone who has an immense appetite, and when I don't fast, I find that, oh, sorry, the camera's a bit dirty. I find that I end up with a gargantuous appetite, and I mean, it's pretty gross. I've had quite a few friends say, wow, you do eat a lot. I thought you ate a decent amount, but after seeing you smash a buffet, yeah, it's pretty gross. So yeah, I can easily eat 4,000 to 4,500 calories in a day if I wanted to, but that's another reason why I choose to stay fasted as well. There are supposedly and allegedly a plethora of health benefits to fasting. Now, there's studies to show both fasting and not fasting, whether or not they're significant or insignificant, based on my understanding as well as the current body of literature I've read. I do believe fasting has health benefits, particularly on insulin. So you become less insulin resistant. Yes, so you're a little more sensitive to insulin, which is a good thing. And that means it can regulate your blood sugars much better, therefore prevent diabetes. So yeah, but that's not the topic we're on about. What we're on about today is fasted cardio. And to this day, there are some easy runs that I still do fasted, but generally speaking, I prefer not to. And here's why. If your goal is to be a better runner, you pretty much shouldn't be doing any of your cardio fasted, because when you're not fed, your body ends up using fat as a fuel source. And we don't actually want to be using fat as a fuel source, because that takes much longer for your body to generate energy through. Whereas if your body uses carbs, glycogen stores, it's actually much faster for the body to create energy. That's the short version. And by doing so, when you eat 60 to 90 minutes before, purely with high GI carbs, high glycemic index, which means your body's able to absorb and digest very quickly and use that for energy, you're able to perform much better. And that is a fact. There's plenty of studies to show that this is indeed true. So you are actually wasting a lot of opportunity as well as the ability to perform well when you don't feed yourself and give yourself the right amount of food. And that's why nutrition can be so important. So you could be doing everything else right, sleep well, training hard, but you're not gonna be able to train as hard if you're just to put good food in your body. And when I say good food, I don't mean fiber, vegetables and whatnot. No, I mean good nutrition for sport. And it's quite paradoxical, because a lot of people think, well, I just need to eat healthy and I'll perform better. Yes, but at the same time, if you're already eating healthy and you wanna maximize the performance gains, pre as well as post-workout nutrition really does matter. And getting in quick absorbing and quick high, what we call high glycemic, high GI carbs, so the ability for the body to absorb it quickly, these are the carbs you actually want. So the, what's it called? Like something like honey or rice cakes with honey. My personal favorite is to either go with an energy jellies, maybe a bit of coconut water in the morning if my stomach can tolerate that much liquid, but I usually prefer not to if I need to go on a run, because it makes me want to pee. So usually I end up eating, well, not usually, I used to just have a tablespoon of honey, but now I've switched to 2 slices of white toast with some jam. And that gives me about 30 to 40 grams of quick digesting carbs. And that allows me to perform much better than if I were to do it fasted. And I've noticed that even the easy runs, I blitz it way faster. And that's what's more important. Because if you want to perform better, you got to stop doing your cardio fasted. And that goes the same with weight training as well. There's pretty much no benefit to it other than for you to feel, I guess, mentally stronger. And that's where I would say fasted cardio can sometimes be quite beneficial from a mentality standpoint, because I might be 2 or 3K in a run and I already feel terrible, but you just keep soldiering on because that's what's going to happen when you're racing, whether or not be running, high rocks, any sort of competition. It builds mental fortitude. So that's where I would say maybe you can consider fasted cardio occasionally, but there's no real good benefit to it, to be honest. And if you can run with fuel, it's almost always going to be better than running without fuel. And now people might go, oh, well, if my goal is just purely weight loss, should I go with fasted cardio, or should I still eat for my cardio? That's a really good question. And yes, sure, just because you burn, if you're fasting and doing cardio, you are burning more fat for fuel rather than carbs. But does that truly affect weight loss? Well, not necessarily, to be honest, because what truly matters, according to research, is how many calories you ingest versus how many calories you expend. And that's really all that matters. So you could be burning fat for fuel, but if you're still eating more calories than you burn, you're not losing any weight. So it all boils down to, again, how many calories you burn. And when it comes to weight loss, that's a totally different story. And if I were to just train to lose weight, I may consider fasted cardio, simply because I find that when I'm fasting, I'm a lot less hungry. And that's really the goal of it. But to be honest, does it really make that big of a difference? Not really, at least not from my experience. A large reason behind why I run fasted is purely a convenience thing. I prefer to run in the mornings, and I happen to be fasting during then, so I run it fasted. But personally, I would much rather be able to fuel every workout with good nutrition. So I try to train in the afternoons or late afternoons, but I've always preferred just getting it over and done with in the morning. I find that I have the most energy then. Sometimes in the afternoon, my energy levels are still okay, but from my own personal experience, I do find that I prefer to train in the morning. So what's the big takeaway here? If your goal is to maximize performance, pretty much stop doing your cardio fasted. It's a waste of time, you're wasting your energy, you're not performing at levels in which you can perform at. You can perform significantly better with carbs, and there's plenty of studies to show that. So eat your damn carbs. Now, if your goal is to lose weight, does it really matter? Either or. As long as you're burning more calories than you eat, you will be losing weight. And go with a method in which you find that it's easier to do more cardio or eat less. That's pretty much the conclusion. And I hope this helps. If y'all have any questions, please comment below and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are, as well as what your experiences are. But for now, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.